just trying to be a better team. We talk about being champions every day. Bo Schembechler talked about being champions every day, and there's a lot to that. And when you have there's a lot of things you can be a champion in, but this is one special thing that you can get to Madison Square Garden, right? Play in front of that crowd in that great atmosphere and win a championship. To do that, we had to beat a really good team. We had to play really well against a really good team. We did. So now it's on to the next game, and I'll take a couple hours like I had to get something to eat and begin looking at Purdue or Penn State stats, and let's try and win.
Were there any nerves coming in about playing a team again that hadn't lost since you guys beat them back in January?
There are nerves when we are playing a guarantee game or we're playing a exhibition game in November. For me, I'm just always trying to think about how we're going to win the game. I think people tell me it's really a good thing that we do it. So now you play a Tom Izzo coach team and you play Michigan State. It's a great opportunity to have our kids play against the best, and we did.
You mentioned football briefly there, and the way your team plays defense.
Did I mention football?
You said Bo Schembechler. And
okay.
He was a football coach. Is there almost a little bit of a football disposition or toughness mentality?
There's a team. There is no question about it. We say it every day about it. Every day we get in practice with team. And the whole idea in a very challenge to do in today's world, to get guys to give to the whole team and not worry about themselves. We had some really good players on that team that are on the scout team, and every day Eli Brooks, right, has to go out there and execute when he started early in the year. That's not easy to do. Austin Davis, he never gets on the court. That has been really good. Jerron Simmons did the whole year on scout team, and all of a sudden he's coming off the bench. That's a lot of sacrifice for people, and we're so appreciative of them. All our non-scholarship guys too. We have a team. There's no question about it. It's a really solid team.
With all the guys in double figures and everything, what did reveal itself, it seemed like, in this game, did it not?
Yeah, because Michigan State's so good at taking away some of the things. They took away some things. They really ran Mo off the line. We couldn't get him with any of the stuff, which sometimes has residual action. So we had to find different ways, and we needed that from Charles Matthews today. We just really needed that.
We talked a lot about the tuxedos, guys wearing the tuxedos.
Yeah.
It's tough to recruit toughness. I remember you saying one time, it's just something it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But what has changed about this team in the last
year? When you see Muhammad, you just say there's a mental side to it and there's a physical side. So put guys in a weight room for 2, 3, 4 years with John Sanderson. That's going to help. Put a mentality on them where without screaming at them in practice, you just get them this appreciation that it is extremely good to dive on the floor. It's great to take a charge. I'm just telling you, today we very rarely get a high school kids ever taking a charge. And this is the importance of guarding the ball, of not fouling. So there's a mental toughness and a physical toughness, but we're not beating our chest about it. We're just saying, you know what, there's a lot of ways to be tough, and we're going to be that. We do say that every day too.
What kind of mental toughness does it take for a kid like Mo to have the kind of first half he did and then come back with that?
Yeah, he's pretty resilient, and it's important that I think everybody understands that. I will draw up more stuff for him when he's not playing well because I know he'll come back, or we just sit him down. He did great. My assistants kept just stay with it. Make sure you get little breaks for Mo because he's in there wrestling with some pretty big guys. And now he's easy. He smiled. I said at halftime, Mo, you're stinking the place up, right? Can you make a shot the second half? That's what I just said to him. It was one-on-one. He was the last one in the locker room. He just smiled. Yes, coach, I will. Yeah.
But then you get him. You draw up a great play for him to start the second half.
And we went right to him. Yeah. So it is a. He's just got an incredible personality. I think I have a bond with that young man. I've coached a lot of kids. He would go in those special categories of the kids that you love coaching no matter what.
What do you think of that final three that went in by Muhammad that kind of hung on the
big point in the game? I just heard a thud. I didn't even see it. The ref was in. I heard a thud, and then I heard everybody cheer. So I knew something happened, but it certainly wasn't a swish. And yeah, it was an ugly three. It was really pretty to Michigan.
It looks like Xavier's taking on more and more.
Yep.
As you're giving him more and more, is that how it's
There's a trust factor that when you're coaching him earlier in his career at Michigan, and you keep telling him you're a great defender, but every time you foul somebody, you're giving him 2 points, and he keeps doing it. There's not a trust. You watch him playing right now, and he defends without bad fouls. I don't want our guys to. I don't mind a foul, but it just can't be a bad foul. And so there's a trust that's growing between the two of us that has really been healthy for both of us and the team.
Did you like the way you guys responded to the physical play in the early part of the game?
Yeah. I didn't want it to get into the thing where we're getting guys kicked out of the game or chippy or whatever. But our guys, like I said, our guys are tough. And just because we don't talk about it a lot, we we let our game do our talking all the time.
Talking about talking, Xavier, it seems like he's willing to get on guys more and more.
On our own guys, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right.
No, he's really taken a great leadership role with the team. I think he's got real leadership qualities. I also think he's going to be a great coach. I know he's going to be a great coach one day.
Coach, got time for a few more?
Back to the chippiness, I guess, at the beginning. Yeah. Have you always been okay with a little bit of that?
Sure.
Or have you changed?
No, sure. I've always been okay with that. But if guys backed off sometimes, right? I'll talk about them later on when we watch it on video, right? But if guys ever backed off. But this team didn't back. I didn't talk about it ahead of time. So don't back off if it gets chippy. Get in there, right? Because every team you play at this level, and especially in rivalry games, they're gonna test people, and it's okay. We're gonna stand in there and be tough.
They had 9 offensive rebounds first half.
Yeah, two in the second half. Yeah. Well, first of all, Jared Jackson gets someone nobody can get. You can box him out all day, and you know what, Nick? They got dribble penetration. You get a little bit of help. We had no dribble penetration. We were a step back jump shot team in the first half. We get 2 feet in the lane. They got penetration. They had a couple shots go their way, but they were crashing from the weak side, doing some things. And while they were shooting, they were sneaking behind us. We tried to correct that at half, and sometimes too the ball just bounces your way.
Coach, talking about Mo, I know last year his mother came to the tournament. So
she's here now.
She's 7-0.
She's 7-0. Wow, that's good of you to think that, right? So. She's a wonderful lady. She looks Mo looks, just like her. So they're both very handsome, and he is it's just great. He's got a fantastic family, and Beate and Axel, right, have a great story about how their whole relationship and Mo. And Franz, and just a great family that belongs at Michigan. It's amazing how we connected because it just is a perfect fit.
What does it say that he gets to play in front of,
Yeah. Well, actually, when we went out on the floor against Iowa, that was one of my motivating factors. Guys, Mo's mother came all the way from Germany. We can't be going home in one day. And that, I tell you, they love that kid. I think that put a little something into it. And it just came out of nowhere after I saw her that day. And I knew what she had sacrificed to be here.
Xavier said he's been a leader since day one, I guess, or he's felt like one, even though he wasn't starting, even though there were other guys ahead of him. I guess, how have you seen him, or that come out of him a little bit more? Or was it something, have you seen it since
I think he understands the process and the plan better. And that's very typical of most young guys. He's starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together of how it all works. Right? The other day against the 1-3-1 zone, we were having a discussion about what was going to work, and he didn't understand what I was talking about. And then as soon as he got it, he made those 2 great passes to break them out. That's him sort of understanding them. He's really strong with his conviction and a bit stubborn. And as he's continued to grow, and I'm a bit stubborn sometimes, so the two of us are sort of connecting and what's going to work, a little give and take each way.
All right, thank you.